Happened.
And before we're actually off to our final break for the day, but when we come back, I want to hear about whether or not those same rules apply in the residential sector. And of course, to our viewers at home, give us a call at 416-446-7090. We're happy to help with respect to your real estate matters. And of course, when we come back, we will continue to help make the law a little less murky by answering your real estate law questions and helping you protect your rights when playing in the very complex real estate game. Welcome back to Toronto Speaks Legal Advice. I'm your host, Natalka Falcomer. We are joined today by real estate lawyers Bob Aaron and Harvey Haber. And before the break, we were discussing your rights and how to avoid common legal mistakes that arise when arranging financing, renting, buying, or selling real estate. And we've got a bunch of callers in right now. Kate, we're going to start with you. Kate, how can we help? Kate, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Kate. How can we help you? You're on air.
Hi. Now, we're in Toronto here, in the East York area. Okay? And a lot of the buildings here are unmanageable with these managers. Okay. And the people feel very threatened with this. They seem to change management, and you sit and wait until you feel threatened that either nothing's getting done or you've asked too much from them, which is never too much.
And now, Kate, what's the issue here? Is it that they're non-responsive, or you want to know how to enforce some of your rights rather underneath your? And I'm assuming this is a residential lease.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so is it that you want to try to get some faster responses to some of your maintenance questions, for example?
Maintenance and to get the superintendent, which is in this case, there's only one person.
And they're just not responding fast enough to you, Kate. Is that correct?
Well, it's not just that they're not responding fast enough. It's that they changed hands again. And we don't even know who these people are, let alone we knew the first time person was only one landlord, as he called himself.
Right, great. Kate, hold on one second. I think we might be able to tease out a few responses here. So in Kate's scenario, in the residential sector, would she have any rights to maintenance being done at a prompt time? Can she go to the landlord and tenant board?
She can apply to the landlord and tenant board for an order requiring the landlord to do certain repairs, or for, frankly, a reduction in rent until the stuff is done. It's all on the landlord and tenant board website.
How long would it take, Bob?
You don't want to know how long it would take.
How long would that take?
It could take a few months. It's not the board is not only backlogged for tenants; it's backlogged for landlords.
Mm-hmm. And quickly, just to wrap up Kate's call, Bob, are there any certain essential types of services that the landlord must provide to Kate that she can maybe expedite the problem or the applications?
Well, there's two things. Number one, heat and water and basic needs. Landlord has to provide certain heat. The other thing is, if it's a serious matter of non-repair, you call the building department to come in and say, hey, the railing is loose, or the balcony railing is falling off, or there's cracked glass. The city buildings and inspection department will come in and force the landlord to do the work.
So there's a building inspector as well as an application to the landlord and tenant board, Kate, that you can do to help move this along faster. Thank you, Kate, for your call. And we have Jolie on the line. Jolie, go ahead.
Hi, guys. Good night. Thank you very much for taking my call. Great show.
Thank you.
Quick question. We've got a property that we are renting out, and the lease is expired for the tenant. The tenant refusing to sign another lease, saying that once they are living and in the house and the lease expire, they do have the right to live from month to month. They do not want to sign another lease. that's one part of my question is, should we be enforcing the lease? Because we're not comfortable having them living in the unit without a lease. How can I go about that, or to enforce the lease, or do they have the right actually, and I cannot enforce another lease?
That's a great question, Jolie.
Cannot enforce another lease. Once the lease is over, it goes month to month, and the general rule is a residential tenant is forever.
How is that? So can Jolie serve him a notice?
The tenant can stay there unless there's grounds to evict, like the landlord's going to move in personally or the tenant's in default. That tenant can stay there forever as a month-to-month tenant.
Commercially, it's different because it could be a month-to-month, week-to-week, or year-to-year tenant, but it's not the same as residential.
But a residential tenant can stay there for 20 years on a month-to-month basis.
But does Jolie have the right to say, tenant,
No.
I want you out, I'm firing you a notice to get out?
No, unless there's certain reasons, like personal occupation by the landlord, default, or a substantial renovation requiring a building permit. So what I put in my leases, and this may be for the next tenant, is a clause which says if the tenant stays in the unit after the expiry of this lease, it shall be renewed, deemed to be renewed on an annual basis, expiring 1 year later at a rent increase equivalent to the government guideline. And so it goes from year to year to year if the tenant remains in possession.
So, does that answer your question, Jolie? It seems that...
It does, and that leads me into my second part of the question.
Go ahead, Jolie.
Because the tenant is living there now, going on 3 years, 3 years coming up in September, we've never increased the rent at all on the tenants. What we're looking to do is to do an increase. Would we be able to do that increase?
Yes.
Based on the Landlord and Tenancy Act?
Yes, based on the Residential Tenancies Act, you can file an annual increase. You've got to give them so much notice, and it can't be above guideline, but yes, you can... you can increase it. Sometimes it's not worth the postage stamp because of the small amount of the government increase. It's not worth the postage stamp to mail them the notice, but yes, you can.
Now, with Jolie's scenario, can she backdate it at all?
No, you can't backdate anything.
Okay. Jolie, does that help answer your question?
Yes, absolutely. Fabulous. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Great show, guys, and thanks a lot. Lots of help here.
Thank you so much, Jolie. Best of luck, and we have 1 minute left. But Val, you're on the line. Let's see if we can help. Val, how can we help you?
Hi. Thanks for taking my call. I bought a house about 35 years ago, and it was a completely detached house. Now, my neighbor who bought their house, I think about 15 years ago, I'm not sure, but they put a 5-foot fence and they attached it to my house. And I don't know, I asked them to remove it. I went to a community meeting with them to see if they will move
Val,
it.
I'm so sorry I have to interrupt you there. It's the end of the show, but perhaps we could have you call Bob. Visit our website for some information. Harvey, quickly, you want to make a quick invite?
I do a
2 seconds, because we've got a
monthly letter and helpful commercial leasing hints. Just send me your email at haber@gsnh.com.
Got it. Thank you so much for all our callers today. And thank you to our viewers at home for your questions and calls. Sorry we couldn't get to all of you today. And of course, Bob, Aaron, and Harvey Haber, thank you for helping Torontonians make sense of the law. Remember, know your rights, and if you don't, then watch us next time to get free legal advice. After all, the best things in life are free. I'm your host, Natalka Falcomer, and thank you for watching Toronto Speaks Legal Advice.